In this video, I'm going to share with you another paranormal experience that I had. Now this one is going to take place at an old abandoned asylum. This place is known to have been haunted. That was one of the reasons we went out to this place. And so that's the story I'm going to share with you today. And I'll just go ahead and get on started with the story. So basically it starts out on a cold winter's night. And it's me and a couple of friends. And we decide we want to go out and check this old haunted asylum out. And just see what all the hype's about. Just to see if, if there is any hauntings or any kind of experiences there or anything that would be worth investigating. We had to check it out. And it has been pretty much unusable for like 20 or 30 years. So, it's fallen apart and, there's not a lot of people around because it's kind of in the country. It's up on a hill down this long road. You have to travel down this road about 20 miles from the freeway before you actually get to the road that you're going to turn on before you actually, get to the asylum. So we definitely wanted to go and check this out, so that's what we did. So all we brought with us this time was the camera and the voice recorder. And, we get those things. There's about 3 or 4 of us. So we go ahead and we go inside. Now, the place is full of graffiti and the walls are falling down and the ceilings, coming down, and there's insulation everywhere. So it's kind of pretty unhealthy to even be there in the first place. But I've got a picture here that I wanted to show you. Hopefully you can see it. I have a couple of pictures here, but I'll get on to some of the other ones. But really when you walk in, this was one of the pictures that really stuck out. Oh, wow, you can't, there you go. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a ghost picture or anything, but it's just a picture of this asylum and how it looked. It's really run down. Glare of the window. You can just see this looks like something to me out of a horror movie or something, because it's just so run down. You can see the ceilings falling apart, and the walls here are really decaying, and the paint's come off, and I don't really know what this was. I think it was kind of like a middle window. Maybe where they would give them food or something, or I don't know. But anyway, this is just what that looks like. So we begin walking down the first corridor in this asylum, and the first thing we notice is that it's decaying, falling apart, and we notice a lot of graffiti. Now there's a lot of graffiti on the wall. I mean, a lot of them, like pictures and messages. And this is a picture that I took of one of the graffiti writings that was on the wall, and I find it to be quite interesting because it's just kind of spooky. And here it is. It says, "I killed someone here and I watched." So as you can see, this was on the wall there. Someone had come into this place and obviously graffitied it up. Now I have other pictures of graffiti, but I'm not really going to show all those graffiti pictures because it's really unnecessary for the story. But I really just hate going into a lot of these older places and stuff like this and seeing all this graffiti on the walls, because it's disrespect to the ghost, and in a sense it's also somewhat disrespect to the buildings, because these buildings are old, and sometimes they have their own little vibrations and energy that resides in them. So when people go in there and do this graffiti, they're really kind of disrespecting the unknown. So anyway, we're walking around this asylum. I'm getting a little further deep in, so it's getting really dark. We just have a camera, like just a regular camera. So we start to walk on, keep on going down this corridor. All of a sudden, I remember hearing this door slam like that. And I looked at them and was like, what was that? Because we're the only ones in this place. It's in the country, so you would hear if there's a car coming, and we kind of checked the place out outside and everything, and just kind of looking around, making sure nobody was out there before we even got there in the first place. So we knew no one was in there. We knew we were the only ones there. So we're really just we're just looking at each other now like, what was that? What is going on? We're really just trying to figure out, was that really a door that just slammed? Because that's pretty scary. We're in the dark, and all of a sudden, a door just slammed. I mean, it was loud. A typical door slam. Just bam. Loud. So that started to get us a little bit on the edge. We keep on walking. All of a sudden, we hear this scratching slash dragging slash shuffling. I can't really describe it. The way we described it at the time was dragging feet. It sounded as if something was being dragged, like maybe somebody was pulling somebody and they were dragging their feet. I don't know. That's the only thing I can say that it made it sound like, and I know that's not probably what it was, but that's what it did sound like. So we're really just sitting here like, okay, door slam, dragging feet, what's next? I mean, this is starting to get a little spooky. This whole time, we do have the tape recorder rolling. So after about 5 seconds of hearing that dragging of the feet, we decided to stop the tape and rewind it back because we really want to know, what is that? What the frick is it, So we rewind it back. And when we rewinded it back, we did hear the door slam on the tape. So we're like, oh no, So we kept listening, and we heard the dragging feet sound. And it was like, I don't know how to describe it, especially on camera, but just like a dragging of something. Right after the sound, right after that dragging sound on the tape recorder, we heard a man's voice. Now this was a deeper voice of a man, a deeper man voice, and it laughed. It was like, ho, ho, ho. I mean, it was like pretty deep and really freaky. So at this point, we knew we've got some kind of activity going on here. We need to try to communicate with them. So we started asking, what's your name? Did you die here? The usual questions, trying to get some sort of a response. We never actually got any kind of response from that, verbally. But, we're holding the tape recorder and we're walking down this dark, eerie corridor of this asylum. It's dark, pitch black at night, around midnight, maybe 12:30. So we're walking through here, and all of a sudden, I felt this cool breeze, like it went through me. I was like, I was like, oh my God, what was that? And they're like, what is it? And I said, something cool, or something just went through me. I mean, I could feel it. I got chill bumps, almost getting chill bumps just thinking about it now, because it was so freaky of a situation. And so kind of like we're down this corridor, and the way I felt it was like through here, and kind of like it went through here and then went to my right into a room. And so I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to take some pictures of this. So I just started snapping pictures. I looked into the room where supposedly whatever I felt, the cool breeze that I felt went into this room. So as it went into this room, I went ahead and started snapping some pictures, just to see if I could get something, because we have the tape rolling, tape recorder, and we have the camera taking pictures. So I'm just snapping away, really. And when I snapped these pictures, we didn't know if we were going to get anything would appear on these pictures. But after I got them developed, and after looking at them, there was something on it. Now, I'm not really that much of a believer of orbs, and that's pretty much what I've got here in this picture I'm going to show you. But the point is that the personal experience that I felt, there was definitely something there, because it was so like a, kind of a feeling, like it was just such a shock. It was almost as if you were in a house. You know how like when you're in a house, and when it's winter time and you're in your house and it's like 70 something and it's really warm in your house, and then you walk outside and you're cold. Okay, it was kind of like that, but it went through me, and there was no temperature change in this place. All the doors, all the windows were shut, so it wasn't like no kind of cool breeze coming in from a window or anything like that. I mean, really, you can take it how you want. I don't know. I personally do think that it was some sort of a spirit that kind of brushed through me, because I took several pictures in this room here. And these are 2 pictures here, okay? This is one that I took. I took 2 of them back to back. So I've got this one. And as you see, there's nothing on it. It's the same picture I'm about to show you here in a second. But as you see, there's nothing there. Just a picture. And then here's the other picture. Now you can see the little orb thing right up here. Let me show you this other picture again. Okay, I'm just kind of overlap it so you can see. Alright, so this is the same picture, same evening. And as you see, there's nothing there. So, dust particles, orb, some type of spirit communication? Not quite sure. But what I do know is I did catch something in this picture. You always wish it would be a full apparition, but it's like every time you do investigations, every time you do any kind of personal experience stuff, you never can get it. It's like it just never happens. It's like as if it's just not meant to be proven or something. Anyway, let me see if I can get this a little closer. Now, all the little specks and spots that you see behind there, I think is just like torn, like paper, wallpaper and stuff. But whatever you think of that, you can let me know in the comments or something if you're watching this, and you can just let me know, because, okay, so I'm showing you this, and you see the orb up there in the corner. Alright, let's show you this one again. Orb in the corner, orb not in the corner. So it's really, I mean, there was several other pictures that I took. Most of them turned out just like this, with nothing in them. But since one did show up and show this little orb here, you know, there's a lot of people that really believe that orbs are ghosts or, you know, spiritual energies. I really don't know. Since I have no proof to say that an orb is a real ghost, I can't necessarily say that it is. But I just wanted to share this with you because it's a personal experience that I had, and to me, I feel like that obviously was some sort of a sign from a spirit. So that's the picture. And so after this occurrence, we decided to keep on going. Now, probably most people would probably go ahead and leave after this situation, because it's like, oh my God, you know, what are we experiencing? Maybe something really don't want us to be here. Who knows? And it seems to be getting colder. It seems to be, though, as if as we're getting closer to the, I guess, inner depths of this place, you know, because we're walking inward, so we're going more into the asylum. It was only one story, but it seemed like it went on forever. I mean, because it was a pretty large little asylum. So as we walk a little bit more into this asylum, we begin to notice this, some sort of grayish type figure standing in the hallway. And we're like, hey, do you see this? I started snapping some pictures, because it seemed as if, like, the second I lifted it up to start taking the picture, it disappeared. So we didn't get anything on that, but that's really all the experiences that I did have at this asylum. It was really, it was a really interesting place. I went out there several times after that, and one time we had gone out there, we noticed that there was this old trailer that was behind this asylum. So we don't know if someone might have possibly lived there and had family that resided in the asylum, or if possibly it could have been somebody that owned the place that lived back there. I'm not sure, but I know that it was all pretty old, and definitely some sort of activity going on there. In fact, now, recently, I guess about a year ago, I did go out there to see if there was any more activity or anything, but when I got there, it was gone. Just flat concrete. So somebody had tore the place down, and that's probably because it was so old and rotten and decaying. So it probably just needed to be torn down, and maybe that was the reason for people to be going out there so often, you know, to help, you know, let the place get torn down so the ghosts can get free and be set free. But I don't know. It was quite an interesting place. I went there a lot, but those were one of the main experiences that I had there. So what I shared with you is pretty much all the experiences that I had in that particular asylum. I did go back there several other times, but nothing was as dramatic or as intense as that night was. And, you know, it was pretty freaky and all, but that's really about it for this story. I appreciate you all watching, and leave any comments or questions below, and I appreciate everybody for subscribing, and hope you all have a great weekend, and blessed be.